We have more breaking news coming in on the broadcast. Another big shocker by MNS workers. Now, an MNS leader's son, in fact, has hurled abuses at a woman. The woman was speaking Marathi and she was abused, is what we're learning. His son was intoxicated, is what we're learning. This is the latest shocker that has come in from Maharashtra. Remember, this comes after MNS goons had thrashed a shopkeeper for not speaking Marathi. Now, in fact, what we're learning is that the MNS leader's son was intoxicated. He was under the influence. The woman was speaking Marathi and he hurled abuses at her. This, of course, comes after the MNS goons had, in fact, beaten up a shopkeeper for not knowing Marathi, for not speaking Marathi. And this, of course, brought in a language war or language row in Maharashtra as well. Now, this comes as a shocker where an MNS leader's son has been seen hurling abuses at this woman. He seems under the influence in this case as well. This is a video that has surfaced. Of course, there are abuses being hurled. Therefore, we can't let you listen to exactly what's happening in the video. But the woman is heard speaking Marathi, is what we're learning, and the man there, the MNS leader's son, is hurling abuses at her, as far as what we know. Now, this, of course, brings in another context to this controversy of the language war in Maharashtra, where MNS earlier had come forward and said that the MNS goons earlier had come forward and said that they wanted to save the language in Maharashtra and that they wanted everybody to speak the language. But of course, whether this particular altercation between the MNS leader's son and the woman erupted due to language, that is not confirmed yet. But what we do know is that the woman was speaking Marathi and this man who's under the influence was hurling abuses at her. Now, this man, we're learning, had hurled abuses at this Marathi-speaking woman, and not just that, but he had also flaunted his father's influence. Per se, he had mentioned that he was a son of an MNS leader and that he had political pull. These are, of course, details that we're getting from the ground. We're learning that he was not perhaps fully clothed. He was under the influence, and he also said that. His father was an influential man. He was part of the MNS party. This, of course, remember, comes after the MNS goons had said that they were perhaps champions of the Marathi language. They had beaten up a man, a shopkeeper, for not speaking Marathi. But here we're seeing that an MNS leader's son, who is under the influence, but still aware enough to talk about how influential his father is, hurling abuses at a woman who's speaking Marathi. Now, he's stopped his car in the middle of the road, as you can see in this video, and he's hurling abuses at her. And she's speaking in Marathi, is what we're learning. And not just that, he's also said that his father is quite an influential man. He's the son of an MNS leader. He's under the influence. He's drunk in this video, and he's not fully clothed either. Now, this is a case of not just contradiction or hypocrisy coming from a party like MNS, but it's also a question of VIP behavior. We can see that he is quite aware that his father, or he claims that his father is quite influential, and he says that so he could behave in any way that he wants. He's intoxicated. So that also means he's sitting at the driver's seat, as you can see in this video. So he was perhaps driving under the influence as well. And he's not fully clothed. He's hurling disgusting, obscene abuses at this woman. And this woman's seen speaking Marathi. So we're not sure if he's targeting specifically the fact that she's speaking Marathi. He is demeaning a woman. He's also abusing a woman who's speaking in Marathi, and he's also stating that his father is quite influential, displaying VIP behavior. My colleague Radhika joins us with more details. Radhika, a shocking case coming in from Maharashtra just a couple of days after the MNS goons had beaten up a shopkeeper for not speaking Marathi. Take us through this case and exactly what's happened.
That's right. The high-handedness of MNS leaders, MNS goons, only intensifying by with each passing day. We know for a fact that this is an incident that happened perhaps last night. This is Rajashri More. In fact, she is the woman there who was being abused by this man, and she took to social media and she has claimed that her vehicle was rammed by this man who is an MNS leader's son. And as soon as this accident took place and when she confronted him, he started abusing her, and of course things things got out of control, and apparently there is an FIR registered. That's what we are being given to understand. We're getting more details on whether this man has been arrested, but the information we have is that Rajashri More, who is the victim in this case, this woman had in fact taken strong stand as far as this entire Marathi imposition is concerned. She had said that Marathi people should work hard in the city and in the state of Maharashtra, and this imposition should not happen, and that violence is not the way to impose a language, and there are other things that
I'm going to have to interrupt you because I'm being joined by Sanjay Nirupam, Shiv Sena leader. Thank you for joining us, sir. Now, this shocking display of VIP behavior coming from an MNS leader's son, not just that, but he's abusing a woman who's speaking in Marathi, sir. Remember, the MNS party had in fact party's workers or goons had in fact beaten up a man for not speaking Marathi just a couple of days ago.
पूरा वीडियो देखने के बाद यही लगता है कि जिस तरह से वो एमएनएस के लीडर का बेटा नेकेड है ना, वैसे ही एमएनएस की पूरी विचारधारा भी नेकेड हो गई। एमएनएस का पूरा अप्रोच क्या है भाई कि मराठी बोलो, मराठी लोगों के स्वाभिमान, मान सम्मान, इस तरह की बात करते हैं। और एक मराठी लड़की के साथ जिस तरीके से एमएनएस के लीडर के बेटे ने दारू के नशे में धुत होकर के, नंगा होकर के जिस तरीके से बातें कर रहा है, उसको अब्यूज कर रहा है, उसकी गाड़ी ठोक दी उसने, वह बताता है कि हाउ बेसिकली एमएनएस की सच्चाई क्या है। और एमएनएस वाले कुछ नहीं, चंद गुंडों का एक संगठन है, इसी तरह की हरकतें करते हैं। इसमें इनकी कोई अपने कोई धर्म से लेना देना नहीं, कोई विचार से लेना नहीं, कोई भाषा से लेना नहीं, सिर्फ यही जो ये ब्लैकमेलर टाइप के लोग और जो एक्सटॉर्शनिस्ट टाइप के लोग, उन्हीं लोगों का ये संगठन है। और नाम लेते हैं मराठी भाषा का कि मराठी भाषा बोलो, मराठी नहीं बोलोगे तो मारेंगे। दैट इज द रियलिटी, ग्राउंड रियलिटी ऑफ एमएनएस।
Right, and Mr. Nirupam, what do you think should be done? Now, there must be action taken as well, because you can see in this video as well, like you said, he is half naked, he's under the influence, he's perhaps driving a vehicle, he's hurling abuses, and we can see that he's flaunting his father's so-called influence.
You have rightly said, the only thing what has to be done is to take action against these goons. I've demanded from Honorable Chief Minister, who happens to be our Home Minister in Maharashtra, that take stern action against these people, because in the name of language, they are doing nothing but only gundagardi.
Right, and as far as this particular incident is concerned, like you said, Gunda Raj or Gundagardi, as you termed it, had taken place a couple of days earlier as well with a shopkeeper. In that particular instance, we had seen the MNS sort of preach that they were trying to protect the Marathi language. But in this instance, sir, it seems like hypocrisy because this man is hurling abuses at a woman who is speaking Marathi.
Yes. In Maharashtra, nobody is against Marathi language. Everybody respect Marathi language, everybody respect Marathi traditions, Marathi culture. But some people, in the name of Marathi language, they try to impose Marathi language on those who cannot speak. We can speak Marathi language, we converse and we interact into Marathi language, but a lot of people in Maharashtra or Mumbai, they cannot speak. You can expect from that gentleman that please try to speak in my language with me, but you cannot impose anything. Instead of imposing, you are trying to threaten him, trying to slap him. So this is nothing but taking law in its own hand. And if somebody is taking law in its own hand, then the law has to take action against that kind of people. This gundagardi has to be stopped now in the name of language. Our government is not at all against Marathi language. They are promoting Marathi language. They have asked central government to provide Marathi language and क्लासिक लैंग्वेज का जो स्टेटस होता है वो. एंड आफ्टर दैट जो महाराष्ट्र का एक फेमस गीत है, जो महाराष्ट्र गीत है, उसको स्टेट गीत, स्टेट सॉन्ग का दर्जा दिलाया हमारे शिंदे साहब ने. और इसके अतिरिक्त लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आर बीइंग डन to promote Marathi language, to protect Marathi language, to establish Marathi language as one of the most accepted, respected language in Maharashtra. So we are doing all these things, but instead of that, in spite of that, they are just trying to.
Mr. Nirupam, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you because I would also like to ask you, earlier in the case of when the shopkeeper was thrashed by MNS goons as well, we had learned that they were sort of detained, then let out on a bail bond, and now we're unsure what action has been taken on this man who claims to be from an influential family, claiming that his father is quite influential in the MNS party. So do you think that this sort of VIP behavior would be let off again?
Then VIP behavior should not be accepted. It is not at all accepted in Maharashtra or anywhere. It should not be accepted anywhere in India. But if somebody claims that I'm a son of so and so, such a big leader, and I have a right to abuse you and I have the right to hit your car, this is absolutely nonsense. It cannot be accepted. And if anybody in the name of his father or mother or whoever is a political leader, if anybody is doing anything wrong or some illegal act, and action has to be taken against that gentleman. And I think police has taken the FIR and everything. They're going to arrest him. He will be arrested, or at least a bond has to be given by him to the police.
Right, Mr. Nirupam, thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts on this development. That was the Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Nirupam. He's of course made some quite big statements. He said that the MNS seems to be naked of values like this man seen in this video, who is flaunting his father's influence. He's hurling abuses, in fact obscene and disgusting abuses at this woman who's speaking Marathi. Now there's a moment of reflection in 2 points here. One, the fact that it displays hypocrisy, because we had seen just days ago MNS goons having beaten up a shopkeeper for not speaking Marathi. They were trying to portray themselves as champions of the Marathi language. That again had bloomed up into this extreme war over language in the state, people who speak Marathi versus people who don't speak Marathi. Now, the other point of reflection, of course, is on VIP treatment. Like I had mentioned earlier, the MNS goons, once they had beaten up this shopkeeper, were taken to the police station, but immediately let off on bail bond. And again, now this MNS leader's son, saying that his father is quite influential and that he could do anything because of that. As you can see in this video, he's improperly clothed, sitting in a car under the influence, hurling abuses in the middle of the road at a woman. My colleague Anuj joins us with more details. Anuj, now another shocking case coming in after MNS goons had said that they were going to protect the language. They had beaten up a shopkeeper in Maharashtra as well. And now we're seeing that this man claiming that his father is quite influential, hurling abuses at a woman who is speaking Marathi.
This incident took place on the 6th of July, and it was later publicized by Rajeshri More, who's been facing the wrath of the Manse workers, not for the first time, but earlier as well, when she put out a video supporting the non-Marathi speakers and how, Hindi shouldn't be targeted in the state. So that was the first time when in the Versova police station, the MNS workers filed a complaint against her. This is the second instance of her, going face to face against the MNS people. Now, from what we can gather in the video, her car was hit by another car which is being driven by Rahil Javed Sheikh, who claims to be the son of Javed Sheikh, one of the MNS leaders here in the state. He's in a half-naked position. He also seems to be drunk. And in that long argument that is happening between Rajeshri More and Rahil Javed Sheikh there, while there is police around, it is becoming clear that she is asking the police to take an action against him. But the man is talking about his father's influence and clearly not in control of his words or of his thoughts. This is the third instance of the MNS workers misbehaving or behaving inappropriately with the people here in Mumbai. Of course, the first was in Mira Bhayandar, and then we saw what happened at KDR's office, where there was an attempt to vandalize the office, and then later on, of course, the recent one being the incident that took place on July 6th. We've also had reactions coming from the government who've talked about how action will be initiated. A stern warning was given after the Mira Bhayandar issue, and then, of course, a similar kind of action was taken when businessman KDR's office was attempted to be vandalized. Chief Minister himself intervened into this matter and said that no more such language-driven policies would work. But if in this particular case, it goes beyond language. It is a case of a person driving driving his car into another one and then behaving inappropriately. So this is another matter that the police will have to look into. It'll be interesting to see whether there's any sort of reaction that comes from the MNS or any sort of clarification, if required, that comes from the party.
Stay on with us, Anuj. Let me also bring in my colleague Radhika, who's joining us. Radhika, now there's more details that have been surfacing as far as this woman is concerned. So there seems to be some sort of a backstory to this as well. Earlier, it seems this woman had shared a post where she had spoken about, per se, Marathi imposition in the state. Although she seems to be speaking Marathi in this video, it seems she says that there are people who are imposing Marathi on non-speaking people in the state, and then she had to take down that post. Take us through exactly what happened and the context behind this as well.
That's right. Rajshri More is the woman in question. She was allegedly abused by this man, MNS leader's son. Of course, that video is something that we are showing at this point to viewers, but there is a backstory to it. Rajshri More earlier, a few days ago, had put out a video in which she had slammed this entire Marathi imposition, going on to say that instead of imposing Marathi by becoming violent, people should, the leaders must do more for Maharashtrians in the state of Maharashtra. They should ensure that there are more welfare schemes for the Marathis here. That is something that is not being taken care of by the state government or the leaders here for that matter. So therefore, Marathi imposition by taking law and order into hands is not the way forward. This was her opinion that she had voiced on social media, but then there was an FIR registered against her by MNS workers in Versova, post which she had to take off that post. In fact, she apologized as well. So yes, she is certainly being targeted by MNS goons at this point. That is why perhaps her car was rammed into by this MNS thug. Of course, he was in a semi-naked state. He was drunk, and of course, he was abusive as well. So we'll have to see what further action police will be taking. We believe an FIR has been registered. She has taken to social media, Rajashri, speaking about this entire incident. We'll have to see what steps will be taken, whether this MNS leader's son will finally be arrested. That remains to be seen, because in the last two occasions when MNS leaders had displayed their hooliganism, no strict action was taken apart from registration of FIR, and in the second case there was some sort of action taken, but soon after the arrest bail was granted to them. But in this case, we'll have to see whether police will finally act and make some sort of arrest, because the video is there as a proof, and besides that, there is a backstory to it as well. So looks like this was a vindictive act by MNS against this woman.
Right, Radhika, you said that there was an FIR filed earlier as well against this woman after the post that she had made. And we're seeing that this man in the video as well is hurling abuses at her. Can you take us through what exactly had occurred in this incident that has now been caught on camera and is now surfaced, bringing forward the incidents that took place earlier as well?
This is a video that's been shared by Rajshri More. In fact, this is, of course, a shocking video. Javed Sheikh, MNS leader's son, they're ramming into Rajshri More's car and then having an altercation there. When she questioned him in Marathi, he hurled abuses at her and also spoke about how he's MNS leader's son, and also went about having an altercation with the cops as well. So he was clearly in an inebriated state and also in a semi-drunk state. This happened yesterday is what we are being given to understand. FIR has been registered. Whether this man has been taken into custody, that is something we'll have to really await official confirmation from. This is what happened yesterday. This is what happened, with respect to the accident. But as I said, there is a backstory to it. Rajshri More is being targeted by the MNS for some of the controversial posts she had put out, speaking about Marathi language and how imposition is not the way forward. Instead, people must do more for the Maharashtrians and for Marathi people in the state of Maharashtra. This did not go down well with MNS, which is why they had threatened her at that time and also filed a police complaint as well, after which she apologized and she took down the video. Despite that, she is being targeted by these MNS thugs. So we'll really have to see what strict action will be taken against this man who claims to be MNS leader Javed's son. But as of now, what we are being given to understand is that this incident happened in Andheri. This accident happened in Andheri, after which an FIR has been registered against this individual.
Stay on with us. Let me bring in Anuj as well. Anuj, like Radhika was mentioning, this video has been shared by Rajshri, the woman seen in the video. And in her description of the video as well, she says that this person, this man seen in the video, Rahil Sheikh, who's the son of Javed Sheikh, was under the influence. He was intoxicated and he was driving intoxicated. And like Radhika mentioned, he had rammed into her car, is what she says, and is what has happened. And of course, she then says that he's hurling abuses at her. But she also makes a big claim. She says that MNS workers have been trying, behind her, is the word that she uses, have been trying to defame her. They've also filed an FIR against her. She says she's also filed an FIR against Rahil in this case.
Well, yes, as you said earlier, this video was shared by Rajshri More herself. This is the second video shared by her in this third in fact, in this entire controversy. And then later it was reshared by Sanjay Nirupam. Now, Sanjay Nirupam is a leader of Shiv Sena Shinde faction, who also paid a visit to Meera Bhayandar when this entire incident happened, and is in a way leading the attack of Shiv Sena, or on behalf of Shiv Sena against Raj Thakre's MNS. Coming back to what you said, that is the most important point that Rajshri states in this video. Of course, it is a statement being made by her, and if she files an official complaint, the police will look into it. This is what we've been made to understand. But it is an important statement. She said that even after she took down the video and even after she apologized for the controversial video that she'd put up on social media just a couple of days ago, on 4th of July instead, she kept receiving calls and messages which were threatening from people who posed themselves as MNS workers, and such an incident occurring, following those calls and messages, something that would, that is to be looked into with much more detail, is what she intends to say, and that becomes important to understand whether the actions of Rahil Javed Sheikh in line with those threat calls and threat messages that this influencer received, or whether there is more to it, or was it just a one-off incident, one-off accident, is something that the police will look into. Because as we can very clearly see, when this incident was unfolding yesterday in Andheri, there's also a presence of police there as well. So we should be getting more details officially from the police about this incident once the dust on this settles down.
Right, Anuj and Radhika, thank you for joining us and bringing us those details. We'll, of course, continue tracking this story for you as more details emerge on that. First.